y'all. It's your travel bestie Kat, and I am being joined today by Andrew. He's the head guy over there at Fitness Together Knoxville. They've got locations in Hardin Valley, Bearden, and Farragut. And we're going to chat about how to stay on track and not gain weight while we're on vacation. Even though I know calories don't count when we're on vacay, but we still want to keep that movement in and stay active. And so we're going to chat it up with him on things we can do, little tips and tricks to keep us active, but not making us feel like we have to hit the gym every 5 minutes. So tell us about a little bit about what you do at Fitness Together in Farragut, Bearden, North Shore, all over
Hardin Valley, right?
Hardin Valley.
Virtually anywhere on Earth with a Wi-Fi signal. So yeah, at Fitness Together, I've been doing this for almost 20 years with Fitness Together, and I worked at a large gym for 10 years before that. So, more or less the last 30 years, this is what I've been doing, is helping people get stronger, get into better shape, get off medicines, feel better about themselves, um, just live better lives by investing a little bit of time and a little bit of money into their own health and fitness.
Right. And I think that's perfect because it goes hand in hand with travel because everybody wants to stay healthy so they can live longer so they can travel when they retire or now even. But
Yes.
I'm wondering like why do so many people feel like vacation automatically means their fitness goals are on hold?
Um, I think because they look at it as an excuse.
Oh,
I think they look at it as an opportunity to take a break from the routine and to relax a little bit. And honestly, I'm okay with some of that. Like I wouldn't expect you to keep up with every workout that we typically do with you at Fitness Together while you're on vacation. And sometimes it's good to take a little bit of a break from strenuous exercise, especially if you're really consistent throughout the year.
hmm.
But I do think there's a happy medium, and I think when people travel, they should still try to stay active. They should still try to walk. They should still try to stretch. And they're, simple 5, 10, 15 minute hotel or cruise ship routines that they can do that won't take up too much of their time, but that will really keep them from backsliding in their fitness when they get back to the regular routine.
What kind of mindset shift do you think they need to get into so they can enjoy the travel, but without feeling like they've undone all their progress?
I think part of it is, you know, my wife and I, when we travel, we like to enjoy ourselves, but we also find travel opportunities that include activity.
Hmm.
We spent almost 2 weeks in Italy. Well, there was miles of walking every day in the cities, and then for 5 or 6 days, we rode our bikes through the beautiful, Tuscan countryside. And so those are the kind of trips that attract us. So if you're looking to have a more healthy lifestyle, I would recommend searching for vacations and trips that will include some activity, not just sitting on the beach for a week.
Yeah, so you pedaled for wine. I approve that message.
We did. We pedaled 4 to 6 hours a day, and then we ate it all back with wine and delicious food. But we didn't gain any weight. We were in cardiovascularly, we were in great shape when we got back because of the exercise that we did, and we felt like we earned those meals. We earned that wine, and so there was no guilt.
I love it. That's the way to do it.
Yes.
Okay, I love cruises. You know that. So let's talk about cruises. What are some simple ways people can stay active on a cruise ship without spending their whole vacation in the gym?
Yeah. So once again, usually your cruise ships have different ports that you're going to, and you have opportunities to do a little more or less activity with some of those on-land excursions. So again, maybe 50% of your excursions should involve a walk or a hike or a bike ride. We've done several cruises, and usually those are the things, again, people who live healthy, active lifestyles are looking for those opportunities, even when they're on shore. When you're at sea, yeah, most nice cruise ships have a really nice workout facility. I would say if you can go do 30 minutes every other day, some sort of strength training, maybe a little bit of cardio, and then combine that with some onshore activities when you're cruising, that'll be a nice way to at least, minimize the detrimental effects of travel on your waistline and on your fitness while still allowing yourself to enjoy things.
Yeah, I know I'm going to go on the Panama Canal cruise next month, and I've already booked an excursion with a kayaking. thing. So that
Yeah.
should be fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. So
It may make my
again,
arm sore, but it'll be fun.
yeah, I think a lot of it just being intentional with the trips that you plan and on the way that you're spending your time. Again, 30 minutes of activity every day is really enough to ward off most illnesses, disease, maintain your strength. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be, it has to happen to some level.
Do you think maybe some people just kind of like overcomplicate thinking about fitness while they're traveling so they can talk themselves out of it?
I think some people overcomplicate fitness even when they're not traveling. But yes, I agree. It's an excuse, right? Well, I'm not going to have my weights. I'm not going to have my equipment. I'm not going to have my gym. I'm not going to have my trainer. What they don't have is a plan. And so a plan doesn't have to be complicated. A plan can be as simple as 10 minutes of squats, push-ups, and crunches, right?
Hmm.
No equipment required, but you have to have a plan. And I think a little bit of accountability, especially for the kind of clients we work with, goes a long way. And so, what I might have that person do is say, here's your 10-minute workout. Why don't you text me when you're done? Or why don't you,
Ooh.
or keep an exercise journal while you're away, and then we'll review it when you get back. So, making the commitment to somebody else, whether it's on a cruise ship or whether it's at a hotel or whether it's at home, is really, I think, for personal trainer, really what makes that all click. So even if it's just your spouse or a friend or somebody that you're trying to stay in shape and get in shape with, having that extra layer of accountability will make you much more likely to get it done.
Yeah, an accountability partner will always keep you on track.
Yeah. But I would imagine a lot of the cruise ships, I haven't been on a cruise in a while, may have some classes that you can join.
They do,
Um,
yeah. Mhm.
yeah. So again, that's what I would do. If it's important enough to you, you'll make it happen.
How do you think or recommend? Do you have recommendations for people on how they approach food on vacation without feeling restricted or guilty?
Um, Yeah, I think, again, it depends on where you travel, right? You may go to a country that has food that is completely foreign to you. I think part of it is understanding that when you travel, part of the experience, and usually a big part of the experience is the different kinds of foods that you're getting to try. And so, being open-minded when you travel and being open to eat the way the locals eat, I think is really important. I think there's some basic principles of healthy eating. I'd
Hmm.
say, and our dietitian, Heidi, she's wonderful. She worked with me a couple of years ago, and it's real simple. 2 servings of fruits and vegetables for breakfast, two for lunch, and two for dinner. So 2 plus 2 plus 2. And what you're doing is you're already creating a sense of fullness by eating healthy food. So you might not be as tempted to go to the midnight chocolate buffet on the cruise ship or the cannoli store, the gelato store in Italy. I want our clients to try those things. That's a big part of the travel, but it doesn't have to be a big part of your caloric intake.
But
Um,
if we're getting those 30,000 steps in while we're running around Rome, we should be allowed to have the gelato, I think.
Absolutely, you should be able to. So, again, if weight is a concern, for me, it's always going to be about calories in versus calories out. I know it gets more complicated with menopause and certain hormonal issues, and I don't want to discount those things. But yeah, at the end of the day, if you're active and you worked out and you exercise and you have more room in your caloric budget to have that gelato or to have that funnel cake or whatever it is that you really want to have. Um, the problem is that when you continually consume more calories than you exert, and it's easy to do that on a vacation if you're not really mindful about it.
Okay, what do we do about those long days where we're traveling all day in the airport and we're just doing a whole bunch of hurry up and sit? How do we
Yeah.
move while we're on the all those long flights?
Yeah, I think, the first thing I do is, airport food is not always healthy. You can have healthier options than others. It's just like anything else. It's like a food court when you go to the airport. You've got options. I would, if you're going to eat something, from the food court, try to get a salad, maybe with some grilled chicken or a healthy protein on it. If you're going to go to Chick-fil-A, get the grilled chicken and get skip the French fries and the milkshake. One thing I do is my wife and I, we bring a big water bottle. We empty it before we go
Yes,
through security.
same.
The first thing we do when we get through security is we fill it up. And so, from a hydration standpoint, really important when you're traveling and skipping time zones and getting off your sleep schedule to stay hydrated. So, tip number one is, pack a water bottle. I'm too cheap to buy $8 bottles of water at the airport. And I like to know that I can, fill it up as much as I want.
Mhm.
We pack healthy snacks with us in our carry-on bags. Um, I'm a protein guy, so I'll get the grass-fed beef sticks from Costco. They're called chomps.
Yes, and they have a dupe at Aldi, FYI. That's
Yep.
really good.
Yeah, I'll get, some nuts for healthy fats, a little bit of fiber. We may throw in a dark chocolate bar in there too, because my wife has a sweet tooth, but dark chocolate is much healthier for you than, the processed sugary milk chocolate and all that other crap. So we plan ahead. I think, planning is really the number one. You're a vacation planner, we're fitness planners. So when you have a plan going into place, maybe a checklist, a packing list of what you're bringing, you're going to be more likely to succeed than if you just wing it. So,
Okay, now this is my worst day on a vacation. It's the day we have to leave to come back.
yeah.
Why is it coming back from vacations often harder to get back on your regular routine than it was staying on some sort of activity routine while you're on vacation?
It's a good question. See, I'm a little bit of the opposite. When I come back, I want to get into my routine as quickly as possible.
Okay.
So I unpack, we try to eat a healthy meal, and then I'll go for a walk or work out that night when we get back in because I miss the feeling of working out and exercise. So I would say part of it's probably though you're tired, right? Because
Mhm.
maybe you're coming from a different time zone, so you're dealing with jet lag, you're sleepy, you're tired, you've just been to this amazing place, you've seen these amazing things. Now you're coming back to the daily routine. So I'd imagine there's a little bit of a psychological or emotional letdown from the vacation being over. You've got to go back to work. And so reality can kind of hit you in the face.
Yeah.
So I would imagine that might be a challenge for some people. And to your point, that's why it's even more important to maintain some sort of, I call it momentum, right? So it might not be the workouts you've been doing, but it's psychological momentum as much as anything. It's keeping your discipline, keeping your edge, and just getting up and doing, 5 minutes of push-ups and squats in the morning is enough to keep your discipline sharp, to keep your habits in place. And so when you get back home, you're still in a routine. It doesn't have to be an hour and a half session, but
Yeah.
it's staying psychologically strong during times when it's easy to get soft.
What's the best way to get back into a routine once you get back home?
Um, hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Eat some healthy foods. Get a good night's sleep as much best you can. Try to get back into a normal sleep habit. Get back into your circadian rhythm. Sleep is a big part of this whole conversation.
Hmm.
Um, and so, if you are jet lagged, try not to let that throw you off your sleep schedule. Try to stay on a regular sleep schedule. Don't take that 3 hour nap the next day because then it's going to really prolong your ability to get back into a regular circadian rhythm. Try to get up at your normal time, try to go to bed at your normal time, and try to avoid um, a lot of extra sleeping or caffeine or sugars or things that keep you stimulated enough to stay up. That would be my first suggestion. Second suggestion is, start off easy. You might not be lifting as much weight as you did when you left, depending on how long you were away. If it's a week, then you really shouldn't notice too much of a drop off. If it's several weeks or a month that you've been away, then you're probably going to have to lighten your weights a little bit and ease your way back in. But usually after a week or two, you're going to be right back to where you were. Sometimes you may even be stronger because you've given your body, especially your joints, a chance to heal. Um,
Mm.
and so you may feel refreshed after a vacation, and your workouts may even be more invigorated because you got the physical and a mental break from the high intensity workouts, if that's what you've typically been doing.
What's a common fitness myth people believe about vacations that just isn't true?
I think a common myth is that you're going to lose all of your strength gains. You're going to lose your muscle mass. You're going to get
Mhm.
out of shape. And I think it's people using that as an excuse rather than saying, how can I stay in shape while I'm on vacation? they want to jump straight to I'm going to get out of shape because I'm on vacation, um, because they haven't fully committed to the lifestyle.
Hmm.
Um,
Okay, this I got a funny one for you. What advice would you not give people when it comes to fitness and travel?
yeah, I wouldn't tell them to go to the gym every day.
Oh,
I wouldn't tell unless they really want to. I wouldn't tell them to avoid eating foods that they wanted to eat or drinking things they want to drink. Like, again, I'm a big believer in work hard, play hard. So if you've been putting the time in at the gym, been putting the time in the kitchen and eating healthy and taking care of your body, I think a week or two of lowered exercise and just enjoyment is a good thing because it allows you to actually build a lifestyle rather than burning out on something. I think you have to take a break from it every now and then. And then I think you'll miss it too. That's how I know when a client's really developed the lifestyle is when they go away for a few weeks and they miss their workouts. So
nice.
yeah,
Okay, I got some.
I hope that answered your question. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
So I can have the gelato. You're not going to tell me no.
No, no, just get a good flavor.
Right?
Yeah, can't go wrong with pistachio.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. There's a lot of that. Yeah. Okay,
yes,
so I got some rapid fire for you. Are you a morning workout or evening workout person?
afternoon.
Oh, okay.
Yep. I'm gonna go work out after this.
If you were on a cruise and it was a sea day, are you going to take the stairs or the elevator?
Um, Probably the stairs unless I'm with somebody who can't climb the stairs. Yeah.
Yeah, we always do the stairs on a sea day because you're not moving as much. Like it's not like you're
Yeah.
getting off and doing an excursion. So we try to do the
If it's
stairs.
a C day, I'm going to the gym. That's my gym day.
Hmm.
Because
But
it's
we
either
also take
that
the
or sitting around at a swimming pool bar all day long. And I'll do a little bit of that, but I want my
hmm.
workout in first. That's when I'm a morning exerciser is when we're traveling.
Oh, okay.
So I want it out of the way so I can enjoy myself. I don't want to go to the gym after I've had a bottle of Chianti, you know?
No one wants
I
that.
mean a
Oh.
glass of Chianti. You know what I meant. Yeah.
No, I was gonna have the bottle, so I was okay with what you said.
Yeah, I know you were.
What's one habit you always pack with you when you're on vacation?
A habit?
Uh-huh.
Um, Probably protein. I feel like if you can eat healthy sources of protein, that helps curb your appetite and it makes other foods less tempting. So I always pack my vitamins. I always pack some protein powder in a Ziploc bag in a blender bottle because I can mix that up anywhere.
Yeah.
It gives me a quick recovery drink after my workout. I pack the grass-fed beef jerky sticks. Um, and that's been a real emphasis on my own diet lately, trying to get that number up in order to support muscle mass as we get older. That becomes more important. So yeah, vitamin and protein. And I always pack exercise clothes.
Same.
Yeah.
I always like to pack those little flavor packets too for my water.
Oh yeah, I like the liquid IVs.
Yeah.
Yep. And those are good, especially if you're going somewhere hot. Like in Italy this summer, it was like
Mhm.
98 degrees for the entire 2 weeks. So there was a lot of dehydration going on. So
Oh,
before
I
we went
bet.
back and drank wine at the resort, we would have a big Gatorade or liquid IV or something first.
Yeah, we take the Propel flavored packets and
Oh yeah.
the Salud too. We get those.
Okay. Yep.
What's
Um,
one fitness tip you have for everybody that works anywhere?
Consistency trumps intensity. Yeah.
Mm,
You don't have to kill yourself when you exercise in order to get great results, but you do have to be consistent with it. 3 to 4 days a week, at least 2 days a week, some sort of full body strength training, and at least another 2 to 3 days a week of elevated heart rate cardio. It doesn't have to be grueling, but a brisk walk, something that's going to get your heart rate up enough to where it's moderately challenging for you to hold a conversation and being able to sustain that effort for at least 30 to 45 minutes. That's going to go a long way into adding years to your life and allowing you to continue to travel and work for and enjoy the things that you've worked for your whole life. I
that's
think that's
awesome.
what I love about personal training, especially a lot of my clients are in their 60s and 70s. I've trained one lady to get ready to hike to the base camp of Mount Everest. I train another client to climb all the stairs at the what's the big tower in Florence? I just did it a few months ago.
Oh yeah.
The church tower, right?
Yeah. And they
Yeah.
climbed the whole way?
Yeah. And so that was her training program, was to be able to climb the 430 steps or whatever it was to get to the top.
That's awesome.
She sent me a picture of it from the top, which is awesome. And then the other client plays tennis. She's in her 70s and likes to scuba dive. So she's actually going back down to Roatan to scuba dive next month. So, you know, they've embraced the lifestyle. It's not just a couple sessions a week. It's really knowing that the reason we're doing these things is to allow them to enjoy the world and get as much out of it as they can.
And for folks that don't know, Fitness Together, they can work out with you via Zoom, one on one, or they can work out with you in person, one on one, or in small groups, right?
Correct. Yeah. And we do couples training. So we have a lot of husbands and wives who train together. We call that semi-private. We've got small groups where you can join one of our groups by yourself. And then we have one-on-one training where everything is really geared specifically for you, your goals, and your challenges.
And if someone were nervous but wanting to get back into movement, and they maybe wanted to do a small group, do they have ones that are like just for girls or just for boys or co-ed, or how's that work?
We've got one that's just for guys at the North Shore location. It's like a lunchtime men's strength training program.
Mhm.
So they like it because they can just talk about sports or cars or whatever they want to. I'd say most of our small groups usually trend more towards female clients, though. I
Okay.
think females enjoy more of that camaraderie and partnership. Guys usually just want to come in and get it done, or they're embarrassed to get, you know, showed up by a woman.
Oh,
I think that's
well,
really what it is.
and I think,
Um,
like you said, girls like that camaraderie, but they also like that holding each other accountable thing. Like if you and your friends are doing it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I think your friend group has a big thing, a big part of your success or the people you're spending time with. Do they have similar goals, right? Do they want to be healthy? Do they enjoy doing things together? For me, I've got friends who like to hike, mountain bike, play tennis. So those are their social activities, right? A lot of times anyway. Kayaking, paddleboarding in the summertime. And yeah, we may have a drink or two while we're doing it or afterwards, but there's almost always some sort of physical activity involved first.
Yeah,
Um, and so, the people you surround yourself with are really going to have a lot to do, I think, with your continued success in maintaining that lifestyle because now it becomes something fun that you can look forward to doing with your friends. So same with travel, we're selective on who we go on vacations with because we don't have that much time and
yeah,
they're expensive. And so we want to go on vacation with people who want to be active and do things as long as we can. So, that lifestyle extends into making decisions about other things, even like your vacation.
that's awesome. And I think there's a lot of wellness travel out there now too, where people are looking at, like you said, ways to go hike to the top of the cathedral or scuba dive, and you want to stay active so that you can do those things and keep doing them.
Yep. Yep. And that's a great motivator when you know you have to get ready for something, right?
Mhm.
That vacation is a deadline. You've got to be in shape by this date in order to do what you're signed up to do.
Yeah,
And so if you're struggling with motivation and you love to travel, I would challenge you to find a trip that has an activity that will force you to get your butt into the gym and get in shape for it.
nice.
And
Well, you
you're
heard
gonna
it,
have so
folks.
much, you're gonna feel so good about yourself when you get to the top of that thing you're doing or the bottom of the ocean or whatever it is. It's going to become more than just a vacation and more than just a way to turn your mind off for a week. Listen, there's some
Right.
value in that, but if you really want to get value out of it, it requires, I think, getting a little bit more out of your comfort zone and challenging yourself a little bit. That's just how I'm wired. My wife would probably tell me I'm crazy.
She
Um,
would want to be challenged.
well, no, even when we go to the beach for a week, we do a weekly a yearly beach trip with her family.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of them just, it's sitting around on the beach all day long drinking beer, which is okay. But like me and my wife, every morning we're out riding our bikes or running or walking or doing something first. Um, and then we relax. It's the balance, right?
Yeah,
And that's really what it's all about in travel and in fitness. It's balance between, you know, what feels good and what is good. Yeah.
excellent.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've given everybody some great advice. Do you have any final advice for everyone on how to stay healthy?
Um, Yeah, don't overcomplicate it. Eat lots of whole foods, eat lots of fruits and vegetables, eat some lean protein, avoid processed foods most of the time. A little bit's not going to kill you. Don't get obsessive over it. Drink plenty of water, make sleep a priority. It's nothing people haven't heard before, but it's always good to be reminded. If you do those things, you're going to be much healthier because of it. Um, and find something in life that excites you and makes you want to continue to get fitter, get stronger, get healthier. Maybe that's a vacation. Maybe it's running a 5K with your grandkids. Whatever it is, find the thing that brings you joy and commit to it.
Nice. Oh, I know what I was going to ask you too. We've gotten stuck in an airport before. My husband will go do laps around the terminal. And I've done chair yoga. Have you ever done anything like that when you got stuck at the airport on a layover?
I have. I was flying back from Sydney to Knoxville, which was a long flight, and I had about a 4 hour layover in Los Angeles, and I was so tired, but I think I walked about 7 or 8 miles just in the terminals, lugging my carry-on around because I hadn't moved in like 20 hours.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll do that. Every now and then my wife thinks I'm crazy. I'll get on the ground and just start doing push-ups in the terminal while we're waiting. I know there wasn't that, and I actually had an idea. I never did it, but there was a couple gyms that had opened up in airport terminals too.
Yeah, there's one
Um,
in Heathrow. They have some Peloton equipment.
Do they?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think you need to do all that unless if you travel a lot, then maybe that makes sense if you travel for business on a regular basis. But yeah, just move. It's not complicated.
We're going to keep it simple. Just move and
That's
focus on your
it. Yeah.
protein.
If you do that, you're 80% of the way there.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. This was such a good thing today. I appreciate you so much.
Yeah, thanks, Kat. It's been great, and we'll look forward to seeing you soon.
Sounds good. Have
All
a
right.
great day.